Hello and welcome to Kitterick Farms. Today we've got a little bit of a special episode. We're going to be taking a look at the new Bulls Gap, Tennessee map that was just released by Rich Acres Modding. And then we're also going to be taking a sneak peek at SiiD Modding's X9 Combine, which I'm super excited to have been given early access to. And so let's go ahead and get started taking a look at the map, and then we're going to actually go do a little bit of harvesting over on the other side of this map. We've got a little bit of a demo set up with the X9. So we've gone ahead and bought all of the fields on the map for the purposes of the map tour, just so that we can showcase the different farms. If you don't own the land, the farm icon for like the dairy farm don't show up. And so by default, when you start with the new farmer mode, you've got this field 1 and field 3 purchased, and you've got a fair amount of starting equipment here on this farm. And so we're going to go ahead and pop up here and just kind of take a quick look at this starter farm. You've got a few different sheds, some nice scenery here, and then I really actually like the sheds that they've got set up on this map. They've been kind of changed up. You know, at a glance I was like, oh, these are the same shed. No, they're not. You've got some different door configurations on them. All your different equipment and stuff is stored inside here. And so if we come into this shed, you've got nice normal garage doors here to open up, but you do have to actually use the buttons, which is really cool. Nice attention to detail here. If we come over into the other shed here, it's pretty much the same. It's just been tweaked a little bit to have multiple doors, which is pretty cool. If we come up here to the top of the hill, you can see that we've also got one of the new RTK stations from the Precision Farming DLC. And this is probably a great time to stop and look at the Precision Farming map. I do have the Precision Farming DLC enabled in this save game. And as you can see, they've added a custom soil type map for the fields. And it looks really cool. It looks like it follows the terrain very well. And so it's great to have some variety, not be using the default soil map. So really exciting to see this getting added to new maps that are coming out. We've also got a little bit different style shed here where you've got some bulk storage for grain or just for parking, what have you. And we've got another shed here with a lot of garage doors, so you're going to be able to pull equipment through. In the back of the farm setup here, we've got a bin setup. We've got 2 bins with a dump point and an unload point here for these bins. So that's pretty cool. And then if we take a look at the map here, we've got a fair amount of decoration kind of down in this area. Some miscellaneous farms and such. And so it makes it really interesting driving around. To see that you've got, you know, a few different farm buildings, nice larger house here with the pool, your water tower and such. So there's a lot of attention to some of those small details to just break things up, which I really like to see in a map, especially on smaller maps. It just has a really good homey feel to it. If we look at the mini map here, or not the mini map, but the actual map here, we've got the milk sale point right down the road here. So you're going to be able to sell the milk from the dairy. And then if we continue up this road here a bit, we've got what I believe is the lumber sell point up here in the corner. So you're going to be able to sell any of the lumber and trees that you've cut down. Like I said before, if we look at the map, I believe this whole section down in the southwest corner of the map is dedicated to lumber. So heading up the north side of the map here, you can see we've got some pretty large fields that we're going to be able to farm here. In fact, if we just check the mini map here, this is a 13.93 hectares, so a 38-acre field here. This is, not the largest field. You've got a few larger areas. This field is 100 acres in size, but not all of it necessarily is field. I think field 19 here would probably be the largest at 138 acres in size, and most of that size is actually field. So this map has got some decent sized fields, and so while it's a smaller map by some standards, you're really going to want to be using larger equipment to tackle some of these fields. And then if we just come up here, you'll notice that we have the dairy farm set up here. And so you've got a nice large silo bunk here. And then we've also got the cow set up with the milking and everything necessary to do dairy cows. And so I've never actually been to Tennessee, or well, that's not true. I've never been on a farm in Tennessee. And so it's always interesting to me to see different setups. This is a cow enclosure that I haven't actually seen on other maps yet. So this one is something that's new to me. You've got some nice bale storage here, it looks like. And then you've got another shed for storing equipment and different things. You've got a lean-to over here for storing things. And then it looks like there's a water trigger right here with this water tower. So this is a nice little farm. And in the back of the farm here is the other RTX building from the Precision Farming pack. And so really, with this farm and the way it's set up, you've easily got two main farms that you can pick from, either an arable setup here or a setup more focused on dairy here. But they've both been enhanced with the RTX pack so that those buildings are going to be included for you when you buy those farms. And then just continuing around the map here, if we kind of follow this road back down the center of the map, you can see we've got a nice wooded area here in the middle. Not really a logging area, just more decoration. And I think the other thing that I just really love about this map is the somewhat irregular shape of the fields. It just feels so much more interesting than when you see a lot of these giant square-shaped fields. You do also have here an animal dealer straight in front of us for purchasing animals. And then on the other side of the road here, I believe is the barn, so to speak. So the bale sale point. So if you want to sell your bales, this would be where you're going to do it. And then if we just kind of continue down this main road, if I look at the map here, this is the main road from the initial starting farm. You're just going to kind of come across these different little buildings and stops, small farms that aren't really farms per se. And then you've also got a awesome gas station here for refilling. I really like this model. It looks really cool with the little flags out on the front of the road here. Just everything seems to fit together really well on this map. And then if you continue through, you've got a little bit of a roadwork area here, which gives you something interesting as you go through the map. You've got the main farmers co-op here, which is going to be your, if I'm not mistaken, the lime facility here. So there is only the one sell point on the map, the co-op, besides the barn and the milk sales, which we've already covered. And then here you can bulk buy lime. If we continue down the road here, we have the other side of the co-op, I guess. It's still part of the same co-op as my guess. Oh no, that's Farmers Co-op, and this is the Patterson Farmers Co-op. And so here's where you're going to be able to bulk buy the rest of your items, such as seed, dry fertilizer, and looks like liquid fertilizer over here, probably herbicide. And I was likely mistaken. It looks like this is actually the sell point here, not across the road. I'm wondering if that's an opportunity at some point to have two different sell points on the map here. Something to think about. There are a few minor issues that I've reported to the mod creator, this being one of them. There seems to be a little bit of a texture issue here by the co-op where this particular texture panel is a little bit shaky there. And so, as always with new mods, new maps and stuff, there's always small little things that you come across during testing. And then if we just bring up the map here, this last area up here is the shop. It is a case shop, so there's a little bit of irony that this is where I'm going to demo a lot of brand new John Deere equipment. But with that, let's transition out of looking at the map and start looking at some of the equipment here. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we have the new John Deere X9 demo unit from SiiD Modding. So what I've done is set up a couple of S790s on either side with the matching or similar configuration just to compare the size difference between these models. I mean, if you just stand here in between the two of these and look at the X9 on the left compared to the 790 on the right, you can just see how much wider it is. It's just got a wider stance. It's a taller machine. The grain tanks are significantly taller when opened up like this. I know the X9 does have a little bit of extra capacity, but it's just in general a bigger machine. It looks really, really good. I'm really digging the look and style of this combine. A lot of attention to detail here. Absolutely love it. And then over here we've got the same thing, except with the tracked setup. And so if we take just a little bit of a walk around this, and then we'll go take a look at the shop as well. But you can just see here, you know, even standing behind, I've got these closed up compared to the opened up, unfolded versions there. You can just still see how much bigger that X9 is than the 790 sitting next to it. I just really love the styling on the X9. Cannot wait to get started using it. And worth pointing out is it does have actual 3D tracks on it, which look absolutely amazing, you know, compared to older iterations with the flat tracks. So I'm super excited to see that SiiD's taking advantage of some of those improvements that have come along. And if we just jump into this X9 here real quick, we can see from the interior perspective, it looks pretty nice. We've got lots of monitors and different things. And so if we go ahead and start this up, all the monitors come on and load up while the combine is starting up here. And so you've got your radio and your different monitors here. At least the column panel there is interactive at this point. And so everything seems to be functioning as I would expect. Our mirrors are working. It's a really cool looking combine. I really like that it's got the demo unit stickers on the windows and stuff right now. Very appropriate given that this is an early access demo. And then if we just jump out here, you can likely hear the sound for the combine here. In fact, I'll turn it off and turn it back on. Yeah, I'm not sure if those are custom sounds or what. So at this point, I don't have any custom headers for the X9. And so what I've done is I went ahead and picked up a couple of mods just so that we can showcase these X9s working. And so I just want to show off a couple of things with this real quick. And so here I've picked up the Midwest Duros 60-foot header. This is something that's been out for a while, but most combines have a hard time trying to use it. And so if I just put the auger out here with this 60-foot header attached, and then we run over here, I've got a grain cart set up. In fact, I've got the largest grain cart I could find set up, the Balzer 2550. This is a edit that R.D. Allen did. I forget who the original mod author is that released it. But as you can see, in fact, oops, let me see if I can pull in here straighter. So as you can see, it looks like we're going to be able to unload the X9 with this big 60-foot header on the go. So we're going to actually go try this out in just a moment. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and jump into the store and take a look at the options that are available on this combine to start with. Now, this is a early release that SiiD has passed off to us. I believe this is the same version that was submitted to Giants. And as SiiD has said on his Facebook page, this is the first iteration, and he has plans to add different configurations. I expect at least different tank options, if not other configuration options to this. And so right now, to start with, we have the options for GPS on and off and the wheel setup. So you can just see as we toggle through the wheels here, you've got different two-wheel drive options, including different rear tire options. You've got row crop options with different rear tire configurations, and then you have the crawler trek option. And so at the moment, those are the basic configurations, which honestly for me works out pretty well since I tend to use a fairly basic setup with my combines. So we're going to back this grain cart out of the way here just a little bit, and we're going to take this X9 down the road just a little bit here and see if we can harvest some oats. We've got a fairly large field of oats that's in a ready to harvest state just down the road. And so as you can see, this X9 is handling the header without any difficulty here. We'll turn our HUD on here as we go ahead and start this up. And we're just gonna tackle these oats. We're gonna dive right in here. It looks like I've got straw swathing turned on. And if we're just going along here, I can go ahead and turn that off. And it dumps it right out of these side chutes, including the back area there. So this seems to be working really well. We're pulling in 110 bushels an acre of oats, and we're doing a steady 6 miles an hour with a 60-foot head. So this is working really well. And then you can see in the lower left-hand corner here, we've got our yield monitor up for Precision Farming DLC. And that's just represented by the state this field was in when we jumped into it. So I don't expect that this field is actually going to yield very well, since I don't think any fertilizer or lime is applied by default in any of these fields. But you can see that it's changing based on the different parts of the field that we're in there. So it's really exciting to see precision farming in action. So with this, what I want to do is actually we're going to lift this header up here. We're going to back up a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and just tell the hired worker to do its thing. Make sure that hired workers are working fine, which it seems to be doing an okay job. And then we're going to jump back over here. We're going to grab this grain cart here real quick and run down there and see if we can actually unload on the go. Be great to see if this actually works, and I've never actually used this Balzer grain cart to unload a combine yet, so it's kind of a 2-for-1. Alright, so we've gone ahead and turned him around here so that we can more easily test this. And we're going to go ahead and get right up under this, and look at the chute on that auger. Absolutely love it. So this is going to be a monster of a combine setup, and look at this. Grain cart is humongous. We're going to be able to do some real farming with this setup. I'm really looking forward to getting into harvest on Flint Hills now with a couple of these X9s. This is going to be a lot of fun. Oh, just look at the distance on this auger. Love that we're running a 60-foot head at full speed. So with that, I think we've successfully tested our normal cutter head here. We got a nice big draper head. It's working great. Man, this grain cart is absolutely enormous. We've got almost 500 bushels and we're only 20% full. Oh, loving it. Just watching the bushels crank in with this header, and just think how much yield we'd be getting if we'd actually fertilize these fields with all the right stuff. This is going to be fun. And just look at how these fields are laid out. This is such a great looking map. I am actually really looking forward to getting to put some hours into this map as well. So with that, we're going to jump back over here and grab the other X9, and we're going to take that right across the road here with this 16-foot or 16-row corn header, and we're going to give courseplay a try. Because let's face it, if we've got fields this large, we're definitely going to want to be using courseplay. So we're going to do 2 headland passes, and yeah, we're just going to take the defaults and see what that looks like. Start course at first, drive course, and away we go. Now the other thing worth mentioning is I believe these are custom corn textures on this map. They're looking mighty fine. Definitely liking the look of everything on this map. And as you can see, we're going a full 8 miles an hour here, no problem. And this is a really low yielding field by farm sim standards. So in fact, you can see it's about as bad as it can get. We're only getting 130, 140 bushels an acre right now. I've definitely seen well over 200. And so that's just the mechanics with precision farming, because we didn't fertilize any of these fields. But as you can see, courseplay is off and running to the races with no problems with this X9. And so I'm super excited. I know SiiD has some custom headers coming out that he was working on putting together, I believe, for this at some point. Not sure what the status is of those at this point in time, but we've got enough good large headers and such floating around right now, as I've demoed today. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, these X9s are ready to go. I am super excited. And then you can even see in the upper monitor here, now that we're actually working in the field has changed, you can see that it displays our grain level on that upper monitor there, and other such important stats. So that's really cool. I always like when the mod authors go the extra mile to hook the monitors up in the tractors. And quite honestly, the visuals in this are really quite good. I like where the camera sits as far as view in the cab. You could actually look around, and you just heard the 50% beep in cab here for our corn fill, or our grain tank fill level, so that's really cool. This is for being the 16-row head. You've got just such great visibility in this thing. I really like it. I can see myself actually spending some time in cab with this kind of a view. So kudos to SiiD for putting together a really awesome combine here. So with that, hopefully this will be out soon to everybody on the in-game mod hub. I know Giants is on vacation until sometime in early January, so I expect this mod will release sometime around then. That's all for today. Kedrick, out.